Hello all. In this video, we will be learning few of the Python programming. So in the previous video, we have made Python programs to add two numbers. So here is another method to find the addition of two numbers using the operation called a sum. So here, in spite of getting the inputs directly from the user, the thing is you can give the command print sum 10, 5. So where 10 is one of the input and 5 is another input, and where we can add the two numbers. So directly we will be getting the output as 15. So this one line program is more than enough to find addition of two numbers. You can also get the input. So that is another method. You can use append operation, and you can use sum function. So this is another method to find Python program to add two numbers. So here is the next program to find maximum of two numbers. So here what I'm doing, I get the value of A from the user. I get the value of B from the user. So value of A is nothing but 7. Value of B is nothing but 3. Print A if A is greater than B, else it is going to be B. So the thing is, it is going to be a one-line program where I'm giving the command program code as print A value, print 7. If 7 is greater than 3, or else you can print the value as 3. So that is my one-line code, simple program to determine the maximum of two numbers. So next one is the if-else statement. Same program can be used in another method using this if-else statement. So in spite of going with a one-line code, I can use program like this as well. So I'm fixing the input as A is equal to 7 and B is equal to 3. And using if statement, I'm comparing the value of A and comparing the value of B. If A is greater than B, if 7 is greater than 3, whenever I use the if command, I have to use a colon at the end so that I will not get any kind of error. If that statement is true, I have to print a value, print A, which is nothing but 7, or else. So after the command else, also I have to give the colon. So if 7 is not greater than 3, I have to print the value of 3. So print of B. So this is another program to determine the maximum of two numbers. So here I'm comparing 7 and 3, and I get the value as 7. So 7 is the output. Next is same program, maximum of two numbers, and I'm determining using sort function. So A is equal to 7, I'm getting the value. B is equal to 3, I'm getting the value. Num is equal to I use the square bracket A comma B. Num dot sort. So this is like a function which I have to remember. Num dot sort means you have to sort. We are telling the system sort the values inside num. So num I have given as 7, 3. So what I am telling the system, compare 7 and 3 using the function num dot sort of. So print num minus 1. So whatever the value, whatever is the maximum value, I have to print it. So minus 1 always means the initial value or the first value according to Python programming. So I'm comparing, the system is comparing, and I'm getting the value as a 7. So this is another way to determine the maximum of two numbers. So next one is the Python program to determine factorial of a number. So I know very well that to determine factorial of 2, it is nothing but 2 into 1. So if I want to determine the factorial of 3, 3 into 2 into 1. If I want to determine the factorial of 4, then 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that is the factorial value. That is the formula actually. So I have to keep that in mind. Here I am using a for loop to determine factorial of a number. There are several other methods which we will be watching or learning in the next videos. So here we can see the method to determine factorial of a number using for loop. So n is equal to 6. I want to determine the factorial of the number 6. So fact is equal to 1. I have to initialize a factorial variable as 1. This FACT variable I can give as f or factorial completely. But I want the user to understand by himself, so that I give FACT. So next I have explained the user or the reader that I'm going to calculate the factorial using a for loop. So whoever sees or looks at the program, he himself can understand the program. So that is why I have mentioned the comment, calculate the factorial using a for loop. For I in range. So whenever you have a for loop, you have to initiate the I value. I value in range 1, comma n plus 1, which means that I'm initializing the value of I from 1 to n plus 1. N plus 1 is 7. So I have to go on the for loop till 7. So when it is 7, I have to exit out of the loop. That is the meaning of this for loop. So for I in range 1, comma n plus 1 means from 1 till 7, I have to go on or execute this loop. Fact star asterisk is equal to I, which means factorial is equal to factorial into I. So if I have a formula, sum is equal to sum plus 1, if I have, in spite of using the term sum 2 times, sum is equal to sum plus equal to 1. That is how I can make it. So whenever I have, so in spite of using the same term 2 times, I used fact asterisk equal to I, which means that factorial is equal to factorial into I. That is the formula. So I'm doing the loop operation and I'm getting the output as 720. I hope you would have learned from the video. See you in the next video. Until then, it's a bye-bye from Radhika.